Welcome everybody back to 90 Plus Podcast where stoppage time never runs out and the hot tapes keep on coming. We're your host. I'm Victor.
I'm David.
Fabio.
And so let's get started. Big elephant off the room. Yeah, we got our boy David back for today's episode. So excited about that. Let's start off with the Champions League, boys, because we had the draw happen this past week. We have a lot of interesting matches coming up. I just want to get your thoughts. Like, what are some of the matches that you guys are looking for in your specific group and then overall? So let's start with you, David. You're a Madrid fan. What's the match what did you think about the draw that you got overall?
It's funny to say the least because Man City again.
Yeah.
Bro, like how many it's been a couple years
I
now
think it's been
actually.
like 3 in a row.
Yeah, I think even more than that they've had to play Man City in some point in the Champions League that's not like the final. So it's funny. I've even seen people say like it's not a Champions League if Real Madrid doesn't play Man City.
Yeah.
Um
You also got Liverpool.
Liverpool.
So I think
I think that's going to be a good game. Seeing the signings that Liverpool have done, they have a really good team. They actually just came off beating Arsenal, who also made a lot of signings. So it's going to be a good game, I think, against Liverpool. I think that's probably, for me, the toughest game out of all of them. So I'm excited to see how that game goes.
cool. Fabio, on the other hand, you're a Barca fan as well as I am. What did you think about our draw? Was there any teams that you're excited to see? Was there any teams that you didn't want to see? What did you think of our draw?
Yeah, I kind of want to start with just saying that I think Barca didn't get like the hardest group out of like other teams. So I'm happy for that. I would have to say that they got like two of the hardest teams.
Yeah.
They have the previous Champions League winner, and then they have the Club World Cup winners, which when you hear those titles, you're kind of like worried that those are going to be tough games, and there are. I think Barcelona will have a good challenge for them facing these teams, and realistically, I could say for myself and probably other Barcelona fans, we're kind of happy that we got those two teams because we weren't able to demonstrate Barcelona how good it is as a team because we didn't have a chance to play in the Club World Cup with other top teams, and then we're actually facing the winners of the Champions League, which
and I think that's a match that everybody wanted to see last year.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, at least I know Barca fans, but I know a lot of people also expected Barca to get through Inter and then have a final being PSG and Barca because they have very similar styles. So I'm excited that we finally get to see that match and be like, okay, this is what might have happened. Obviously, a lot of things have changed since then, but yeah, I like where you're going with that. With that you said that Barca doesn't have the hardest group. Who do we think has the hardest group? Like, who would you guys give it to? My immediate candidate, I'll put mine on the table, is Chelsea. So their group includes, or their draw includes, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Atalanta, Ajax, Napoli, and then two other, like, more or less random teams with all due respect. But you got the champion of Spain, you got the champion of Germany, you got the champion of Italy. I don't know if was Benfica champion of Portugal?
I'm not sure.
I think it might have been.
But while you're looking that up, I would have to say that I think I'm gonna go with what everyone is saying that I think PSG has the hardest draw. They have Bayern, Barcelona, Atalanta, Leverkusen, Tottenham, Sporting, Newcastle, Atletico Bilbao. All of those teams are teams that if they have a good game, they could make the life of the other team hard. They play really well. Again, it all depends if they're having a good game, but like if they have a good game, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
And I feel like that could happen with any team that PSG faces. As with Barcelona, other than like PSG, Chelsea, maybe Frankfurt. I'm not sure I'm not saying that name correctly. And Newcastle.
Frankfurt.
The other teams, I feel like even if Barcelona has a bad game, they could still win it.
Yeah. So just a quick going back to Benfica was actually second correctly to Sporting. Sporting ended up winning the league by 2 points.
And
But
Sporting is playing against PSG, so that shows that they have a lot of team contending for them.
I mean, I guess when you look at it that way, like, the only difference that I see, so for example, right, like both Chelsea and PSG have Barca, Bayern, right? They both have Atalanta, and then where I really think the difference comes apart is that, oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So we have Bilbao and Newcastle, who I guess you're right. I would rate them over uh Karabakh and Bas. Honestly, I don't know the names correctly.
And
But then Sporting, I would rate above Benfica, but it's Ajax and Napoli that I would rate above Tottenham and Leverkusen, and it's just because Napoli won Serie A. But
Yeah.
but both of those are tough matches for sure.
And like I
Tough
said,
games.
it could be like really tough too. It's just to have a good game. Newcastle was almost tied it against not PSG, Liverpool with man down, and they were able to come back from 2 goals down. So Newcastle's still showing that they could perform even if they don't have their striker anymore too, which
Yeah.
is a different story.
If you had to pick an early dark horse to like make it to the round of 16, who would it be? Just based off these pods. Give you guys.
I can't. Man, I was gonna say I wanted to see Napoli's like their road, but I think I want to say Napoli, just especially with like
You think that'll be a dark horse considering
yeah,
that the success they've had over the last few years?
yeah, because I feel like, I mean, they were what you said champions of the Italian
Yeah,
league last
they
year.
won 2 out of the last 3 Italian leagues. And I mean, we
Yeah,
just saw Inter, who were second, and they made it to final. I could see your point though. Like, I guess we
I
really
meant
haven't
also
seen
like
Napoli
yeah,
in
we
European
haven't seen
football.
them in Champions League, which is why I think that's why is sure they've done great in the Italian league, but yeah, I think in the Champions League we haven't seen them
Yeah, perform.
perform that much. So I
That's a
feel
good.
like yeah, especially with the signings they have, like Kevin De Bruyne that they
Yeah,
got.
True.
I feel like they might surprise some of us, and they actually have some.
Good talent.
Yeah, and apart from that, like they have a difficult route too, right? Like they're playing Man City, Chelsea. I'm trying to see who else they play,
let's see.
but those are 2 teams I can't see their route.
Oh
But
yeah, so they have
And
Chelsea, Man City, Frankfurt, Benfica, Sporting, PSV, Karabakh, and Copenhagen. So
yeah,
also a tough road. But I feel like, which brings me to my next question, which is about the format. Because a few years ago, we saw the idea that came out from Real Madrid president at the time, which was the Super League, and everybody turned it down because they're like, "Oh no, you're trying to sell football." And I understand why that was a bad idea. Of like, we do want to see these underdog stories, but they kind of copied the setup that the Super League wanted into the Champions League. That's ultimately what we got.
yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I really, really enjoyed last year's Champions League. I enjoyed this format a lot better than I enjoyed the previous one. So just looking at the format 1 year through, do you guys like this or would you guys go back to the other one?
It's tough. I feel like personally, I would go back to the old one just because for this, it's so many games on the teams.
I
Like,
thit was the same.
is it the same?
yeah, it's the
Yeah,
same.
It is the same.
the only thing that
They play
changed,
more often, no?
no. The only thing that changes it's I think you get like one added game because technically anyhow, the only thing that changes is before you would also have 8 games. The difference was, or you would play against,
Oh, because you.
you play home and away. Sorry.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
6 games.
Uh-huh.
The only thing was that you would play home and away. Now it's like you're not playing home and away. I guess there is an added 2 games. So there's 8 games now.
And in addition, if your team does make it to like I think the qualifying 8, they make it into like the between 8 and 16. You play one more game to decide if you're
Yeah.
qualifying
you're
for
like
the
qualifying,
16. What is
yeah.
it? 16 to
I think it's 8 through 16 because I
8.
think it's in total
Yeah.
12 teams.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
So 8 to 16, you get like
Like a
one.
revanche.
Yeah. Like a
Like a
repechaje.
yeah,
type of-
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, I like this because one, it benefits you if you perform well throughout the Champions League. Now it's like, okay, well, if you're top 18, you get a week's
Yeah.
rest. But then 2, we are seeing the best teams playing each other, not just like before. I feel like you would draw like 1 or 2 tough teams, right? Like you would
In your
get like
group.
a Dortmund, and then someone like maybe a City or a Chelsea or Liverpool, and then aside from that, you would get like weaker opponents.
Yeah.
Now I feel like for the most part, most teams are made up of like really strong opponents, and then one or two games are kind of going to be a little bit or expected to be a little bit easier. You know?
Yeah, I didn't think about it that way. You're right. And I think also thinking about like the way they do the rankings, like how you were saying that, you know,
Mhm.
first through eight, like if you're performing very well the whole tournament, like, you know, you're guaranteed a spot. And then if you're not like 8 through 16, like you still have a chance. Because you never know, like that 8 through 16, it could have been one game
I mean,
that decided.
PSG was in the a group. They didn't make it to the top 8, so they had to
Yeah.
like fight for that
They had to
position.
play,
They had to
yeah,
play in
see, and
every
then they
game.
ended up winning it. So I
Yeah.
think that also helps versus like the old one where it's like you're top two in the group. So like you said, if it was Real Madrid, Chelsea, and then
Two weaker opponents.
Copenhagen, and yeah, like you know for sure who's making it out the group. Like it's
Yeah,
not.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So I think it just brings another level of competitiveness and gives more of a pathway to an underdog story.
And more of a chance to like
Better get
Good
better.
competitive football,
Yeah.
because like, and I ultimately think that's where like the Super League kind of failed. I don't think the problem is that we would get great football. It's just like how often could we get more competitive football, you know? And that's where the last format also failed.
Mhm.
We had great club football, but it didn't get to the level that I think last year got, because last year you were seeing like a lot of really tough matchups, but now it wasn't like, well, we're gonna get them home and we're gonna get them away. Like, you kind of do lose a little bit on that, because some games like you would prefer to have home, some you would prefer
Right.
to have away, especially like your tougher games. But I do think that we win a lot on the competitiveness and how quickly we get that.
Mm.
Would you agree, Fabi?
Yeah, no, I will agree. I feel like it's definitely changed. Obviously, they are playing more games, and that's something that a lot of teams were complaining that their players weren't getting like a chance for a break. But at the end of the day, we do see but different match fix-ups, which are essentially gonna be more entertaining. It's gonna be bringing more audience, and it's gonna be making the Champions League a lot more exciting. You're not gonna be seeing repeating of like Barcelona or like Liverpool playing these small teams, and we know
Yeah.
they're gonna get destroyed. You do see like they play them one time, and then you're like, oh, maybe it's a surprise and stuff. But yeah.
That's fair. And then I guess like the last question I have to kind of close this up. I know it's very early on in the season, and I know it's kind of stupid to do this because realistically, like, all this doesn't count for anything. But if you had to pick like your top three candidates to take the
Mhm.
Champions League this year, who would it be? You guys in your second, I could start off and then go from there, or if anyone's ready.
I think I have my three, but you can
Yeah.
start off.
No, go ahead.
Well, I think Real Madrid, PSG, and Liverpool.
Oh, it's actually crazy because those were the exact same three I was about to say. Like, I'm not even kidding. Real Madrid, PSG. I was gonna say PSG.
You want me to say Barca?
No, I was gonna say PSG, Liverpool, and then Real Madrid. And I'll explain a little bit more right now, but I want Fabio to give his.
Yeah, I was gonna go with PSG, Real, and Barca. I just feel like Real has that DNA to be making it far. Liverpool, I feel like they always start great, but then they always go down a little bit in quality towards the middle of the season.
Mhm.
And we saw that they lost to PSG last time. Um, and then PSG, you know, they're the current champions. They're playing well. I just want to see them actually play against tougher teams that are
Yeah.
not in the League One, just because I feel like they're not getting pushed in League One. I feel like they're getting pushed in Champions League for more difficult matches.
Why did you say your top three?
Well, just going like PSG, the season they had, and like they didn't make much changes to their team. They still kind of have the same. So I feel like they just, I don't know, they did so well last year. I could see them going like doing well this year. And then, well, Real Madrid, like you said, it they have that Champions League DNA. And Liverpool, I'm just excited with all the signings.
Yeah.
Like I said, they went crazy. Like they just finished that Isak signing.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I think they're definitely like
They're definitely a top contender.
yeah.
To add my point on what you were saying, I think Madrid is always going to be a favorite. I think specifically this season, they are very hurt about what happened last season without being able to get any silverware, and that's very unlike Madrid. So I think with that, then you have Xavi Alonso coming in. He wants to make a statement. You brought in Trent. You brought in Carreras. You brought in Dean.
Alonso,
Yeah. So you brought in a couple of players to ideally reinforce your back line, which was like what you were struggling with the most last year.
Yeah.
You also brought in Mastantuno, and you've been trying to like rebuild the squad in your weak points. So with that added to Real Madrid's Champions League DNA, I think that's why they always have to be a favorite. Liverpool, I agree with the signings. You have Isak, Ekitike, um,
Frimpong.
Frimpong. Yeah, so Verts, yeah, wonderful signing. So overall, I think because of all and they weren't cheap signings. I mean,
Right.
Isak just closed yesterday for what was it, like 130 million pounds or something like that?
The whole deal turned out to like 174 mil.
Yeah.
Wow.
So absolutely crazy. You brought in Verts, who was like 100 and something
Yeah.
as well. Frimpong, I'm not 100% sure. Might have been like 60 to 80, somewhere amongst there. So it's like you spend all this money, you kind of have to make it worth your while. And then PSG, they've been playing phenomenal football. I think they got a little weaker with letting Donnarumma walk, but aside from that, they're the reigning champions, and you kind of expect them to be up there. And yeah, that's why I would choose those teams. But
So why not Barca though? I'm interested to see why you didn't.
I don't. So how did I say this? With what I've seen in the first few games, and like I said, this doesn't mean anything in the long run. Like I still expect Barca to get back in form, and when they're in form, I do think Barcelona is the best team in the world. And I do think that in certain areas, so for example, at goalkeeper, I love Chesney, but oh my God, John Garcia, especially with the game he just had this weekend. Like if we would have had that, and then we paired it with Inigo and Kubarsi in the back line, Kunde at the level that he was playing last year, and Balde at the level that he's playing, like I think without a doubt we'd be like the top team. However, I've seen them struggle a little bit, and even in the first few matches, we should have lost a couple more of those games, and we kind of leave everything to the last minute. That's why I just feel like until I could see some consistency from Barca, I won't choose them as a candidate. I also just want to take that weight off my shoulder, Not
That way, if you don't say something.
right. The other season, Madrid didn't win it, but I could be like, if Barca wins that, I look good. So,
Damn, good strategy. I should have said that. Sure.
But
no, it's interesting though, because I think you're right. They, I think Inigo was like a big missing factor for them. Like you said, a lot of the hiccups in a couple games have been like the defense, and it's just they're missing like that presence of that Inigo brought, especially with playing that high line.
Yeah,
like, it's not the same without him.
Yeah, and you could feel the difference, dude. Like I think the last few games, every time I've seen them, I'm just like, either we got to come back or we got to do something, and I don't know. I just feel like we're not clicking. And granted, it was the same thing that happened last year. We didn't start off the best way, but ultimately we got in stride and it made it. Yeah,
last year we started great. What do you mean?
Dude, last year by October, I think we were 9 points down in Madrid or something like that.
By the end of December, but we were like the first couple games we were winning like 7-0,
right,
5-0.
But I'm saying like for the first half of the season, it was like I would say that Barcelona's second half of the season was way stronger than the first half and that's ultimately what I was getting at. Like we're not starting to the level that I expect them, because realistically, the first 3 matches that I had, I expected at least 3 goals in each of the matches, and I expected like
right, or like you said, like last year they started 7-0 first games, and now they're starting 1-1 10 against
3-2.
Yeah.
So that's why, but. Yeah, let's close that down on Champions League for now. We'll see what happens with that. Now that we have David, we had an interesting conversation about Barcelona last week, in which we talked about like our ideal 11. What do we think with the season or whatever? And we gave a little bit of an opinion on Madrid, but our opinion was very
biased.
Unbiased. And the reason why I was unbiased was because neither of us is a Madrid fan. Like I think we both respect Madrid enough to like know how good of a team they are and what their expectations are. But we don't have that vision of like, oh, they're my team clogging our view.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we do want to take the opinion from a Madrid fan as yourself. First of all, what do you think of the season so far? Like, are you liking what you're seeing from Xavi Alonso's Madrid side, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think I am. I think they've been playing pretty well. The first game, like my memory's not great. I can't remember who they played. They was just playing very defensive. I can't remember, but they were literally playing like, there's memes all over the internet saying they were playing with like 12 defenders. And they ended up winning, I think, that game barely, like 1.
Was it Mbappe?
Yeah.
Penalty from Mbappe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh, but the most recent game, I think it was
Mallorca?
against
2-1.
Mallorca. It was 2-1, but they had a lot of chances. I think they disallowed like 3 goals
Mhm.
total.
The goal that actually ended up going in, I don't know if you saw, but it was a handball from. Granted, like his hand was stuck in the
Yeah,
body.
oh man, I wish I could see the clip. Sometimes the clips we see on the internet just aren't.
Yeah, I
Because
get that.
I know what you're talking about. It like hits his hand, but he
But
has it, like right
he has it
here.
right here. Yeah.
But his other hand is here, and I can't tell if it hits his other hand.
I didn't know about his other hand, but my whole thing is,
Yeah.
I just thought that the rule was that if you score a goal and the ball touches your hand, even if it's a rebound or anything, it doesn't count. And I know it's not the same, but like if you remember last season at Clásico, Firmino ends up scoring a banger against Madrid in the second like of the La Liga. But when you rewind the play like to 2 plays before, he takes Bellingham and the ball bounces up and touches his hand, and that's why they disallow it. So obviously not to stir up the pot.
Yeah.
Ultimately, like I don't think his hand did enough to like assist him on the goal. Like I don't think he opened his body or anything. But I just thought that the rule was if it touches your hand, even if it's close to your body at any point, like it has to be disallowed. But
I
yeah,
don't know. That's weird though. But anyway, yeah, I don't want to get into that controversy. But they had 3 disallowed goals. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them were like even Mbappe's outside. Did you guys see? It was
I heard it was because of his haircut, bro.
Right?
It was because of his haircut.
For real, right? It's because of his haircut.
And sometimes it's weird because even last year there was a disallowed goal by Lewandowski, and they were saying like his leg was like
his foot was like a foot long or something like that. Like two.
I was like, okay, I didn't like VR. It's like could see everything, I guess. But
which is crazy because I think we have modern enough technology to give us like correct. Like, there's definitely got to be a way.
And like me personally, I think there's also like what's his name, Arsene Wenger. He is the yeah. He even said like a thing about how like the offside should be like fixed where it shouldn't, because like realistically, like even Lewandowski's like, is his foot being like 2 centimeters crossing the line? Is it gonna make a difference?
Yeah.
Like for him
I don't know
scoring?
if you've seen this, but FIFA has actually, I think they started testing in some youth leagues, but their new offside rule would actually be that you have to be fully in front of the player.
Like a whole body's
Yeah. So, for example, if like your foot was dragged, like let's say we're in line, right? And I was ahead of you and my foot was dragging at the same level as you, that would still count onside. I would have to be clearly ahead of you in order for it to be offside.
Yeah, I feel like that makes a lot more sense because I feel like it has to be like a big difference where it's like, damn, like you're clearly never catching up to that guy. You know, like you're saying, like,
Yeah.
I understand if he's like a whole foot, even I'm not even like even a couple inches in front of you, like you said, a whole body's worth, like he's in front of you completely. But like, if my feet are lined up with your body, like my feet are going as, you know, they're taking me as far as, you know, I
As
can
you're
go.
saying,
So yeah. But anyway, that controversy, like we said, but 3 disallowed goals. Not saying they all should have been goals, but you know, they were definitely playing a lot better and had a lot more opportunities to score. So no, I think they've been doing good. Considering they didn't, I mean, the Club World Cup was their preseason. I think they're definitely like starting to have more like chemistry together. You know, like you said, they had a lot of signings. So I'm interested to see how they continue. And yeah, but
if you had, so we brought this question with Barcelona last week, and I want to ask for you in Real Madrid terms. If you had to choose your ideal 11 currently with the players you have, that means with any players in your roster, right? Who would your ideal 11 be? So let's start at goalkeeper. I think we could all agree, but
yeah, so I'm gonna just go based just
Yeah.
no, the last game against Mallorca they played a 4-2-3-1. So yeah, in goal I'm not switching Courtois. Like Courtois is just him. And then at defense, so they played with 4. They had Trent, Militao, Dean Howson, and then Carreras. Honestly, I wouldn't change any of that. The only one I would potentially change is maybe Trent. Just because Carvajal is back. Like if you saw the Mallorca game at the end, Carvajal went in, and he was playing great. And the thing about him is he just plays with like his heart out, you know, like he's gonna run for every ball, like go crazy, and it's just that aggressiveness from him in every
gives
play.
you that extra percentage.
Like Trent might not, you know. I feel like Trent in some plays, and it's just a habit of some players. Like they just like lazy, they just give up. I feel like Carvajal's not. He just like. You'll see him running the whole game to attack or to defend.
Yeah.
But I understand too. He's probably not 100% healthy yet, so that's the only part where I'm like, I don't know if I would start Trent or Carvajal. I would prefer Carvajal if he was 100% fit. I would definitely start him, especially because, I mean, I don't think how old is he? Doesn't even know how old Carvajal is.
Like
He's
34,
got to be in like
33.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
he's
sure
gonna
he's in his
be up
30s.
there. So like, I feel like we might as
I
well
got to be honest. I was a little surprised that he was able.
to come back from that.
Yeah,
injury, yeah.
because he tore everything. Like it was his
Mhm.
ACL, his MCL, his LCL, like everything.
Everything. Yeah.
And
And at his age too, like it's not like he's young.
he's 33.
33.
Yeah, so we're close.
Yeah.
Um,
But I feel like, they could get another couple of years out of him, and I mean, we might as well use him, especially like I said, with the aggressiveness he plays with, and
yeah, I think ideally you would have like 2 more good year this year and then next year, and then maybe sell him for a little bit to like Saudi or something like that.
yeah,
So maybe transfer. Okay. So then at midfield, you had Valverde and Chouameni, I believe. But who would you like? Would you keep?
honestly, I'd keep both of them.
Okay.
I really like what I'm seeing from Tchouaméni this season so far. There was that play in I don't know if it was this game against Mallorca
Or I
or
think
the
it was
last. It was the one
Oviedo.
before that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where he like won the ball. He did like a clean tackle, and everybody was saying it was a foul, but honestly, it was clean. He
That
got the ball.
ultimately ended up in the goal. I believe,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
ended
Yeah.
up in a goal by Mbappe. So I really like what I'm seeing from him. He's playing very well. Granted, I think last season he didn't get much playing time. Like here and there, he did get some games where he started, but now he's been playing like he's been
Yeah.
a really good player for us.
I think
And a starter, I
Valverde,
think, in
you
all
don't
games.
really need to say anything. He's phenomenal. He's the one player that I love to watch from Real Madrid.
Exactly.
Very complete. I think he's a very complete player anywhere you put him. Like I
Mhm.
think if you put him at striker, he'll perform. Like
Yeah.
he's great. But all right, so it's your 2 line, and then
The three, they had Mastantuono, Guler, and Vinicius Jr. Honestly, the only change I make is Mastantuono.
So
Yeah.
I didn't see. I was a little confused. Was Mbappe supposed to be playing out on the wing, or was he alternating with Mastantuono as a striker? Like I wasn't really sure what the tactic was there.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure either. I mean, he's supposed to be playing striker, but I guess just the way, Mbappe is, he probably just drifts more wide. Um, and Mastantuono, same. I feel like he drifts more towards the center a lot. But
So ideally, who would you have instead of Mastantuono?
I think we would put Guler there and then have Bellingham. We need Bellingham somewhere there.
Okay.
And I would think there, like where Guler was as a center attack man. Don't get me wrong, Guler has been amazing too. I think he has the most chances created for a midfielder this season so far.
Really?
He's at 10.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I was talking about him last
Mhm.
season. Like I was excited for him, and now that Xabi's actually giving him a chance. I mean, even the last game he had a goal.
So you would have Guler out wide,
Mhm.
Bellingham as a center attacking mid, Mbappe on top, Vinny on left.
Yeah, and then just like Mastantuono does, kind of have Guler drift into the center, for some plays. Yeah, and honestly, with that, like I feel like that would just give us a lot, like really good, like attacking, and also defensively, like Tchouaméni and Valverde both there in the center mid.
I think you guys have the player to have a phenomenal squad. I just think, and this is what I was saying last week too. Like, I just feel like you guys lack a little bit of balance in your squad. I like your lineup, and obviously you know Madrid more than I do. I personally I don't think Guler and Bellingham could be both in at the same time because neither of them gives me a true like winger situation, and I feel like it'd be overloading one side, and usually it's Vinicius' side
Yeah,
because he is more of a true winger, but. I do think they're both phenomenal, and if anyone can make it work, I think it's Xavi. So I'm excited
that's
to see
true.
that.
Yeah, and I thought about that too, but the thing is, like, looking at the team, like, who else would you really have there on the right side? And I know a lot of people are like Rodrigo, right? Is putting Rodrigo, but
I think realistically, if Mastantuono turns out to be a player that everybody thought he was going to be, you would want Mastantuono as a striker and then just switch.
or no, even on the wing. He's a winger.
Yeah.
And
I guess I just like, and I've always said this, I think Mbappe will play phenomenal anywhere on top, but I do think Mbappe plays better off the wing. But yeah, regardless, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with that, I mean, anything else that you want to say on Madrid? What do you expect? Do you expect them to be like a serious contender for? I guess we talked about the Champions League already, but do you think they could win La Liga this year, or do you think?
Yeah, I mean they're already in first place,
Mhm.
so got a couple points above Barcelona.
Gotta take
So
them where you can.
yeah.
No, it makes sense. Which I mean, now that we've talked about Madrid, let's move forward a little bit with what happened this week in football. So we had a lot of interesting matches. I want to talk about a few. If there's any that you guys want to talk about, please go ahead. I wanted to open up, though, with the Liverpool-Arsenal game. We had two behemoths of the Premier League facing off against each other. Liverpool ended up taking it 1-0. I think it was like a late 80th minute free kick from Soboslai.
Yeah, banger,
Yeah,
bro.
banger from
Excuse my language.
Soboslai. I honestly expected a lot more from this game. I thought it was going to be a lot more goal-oriented, but what I saw was Liverpool really holding back and trying to counter, and we saw Arteta's hand in Arsenal. They were keeping the ball, they were controlling, but they weren't finding any spaces, and they weren't being attacking enough. So if I'm being real, like I really did think it was a very boring game. But
Oh yeah, of course. I feel like it was just a lot of back and forth, but nobody wanted to make that key pass into the final box because then they were afraid that they were going to get counter, or
Yeah.
nobody wanted to push too much to
Mhm.
the front because they were afraid of the counter.
yeah,
So they would just that ball was just staying in the central. It wasn't really going to the final third of each of the team, and when it was, there was like 3 players surrounding that ball. That ball was not going anywhere near the goal.
yeah.
You know what's crazy though? That I've seen like on social media, people were saying that that game was more interesting than all the La Liga games.
What?
And
I-
yeah, that's what I said. So
No, I just
I mean,
Those
I
are all
didn't,
Premier League
I'm
fans.
not gonna lie, I didn't watch the Liverpool Arsenal game like to the full extent, but yeah, I mean, I didn't see much besides a couple chances and then the goal. But I mean, it was a pretty even game. I can't lie. But
dude, I was watching it, and then at the same time, there was a tennis match that I really wanted to watch, Carlos Alcaraz, and I was like, I literally had him, dude. I literally had him in side to side because I was like, bro, like I just didn't think that Liverpool match was interesting. There was a couple moments, and like at the beginning, I'm like, okay, I'm ready. This is gonna be, this is gonna be a great match. This is gonna be huge. Two titans going up against each other, but I just felt like it lacked a lot. And maybe it's because of the result. Maybe I wanted more goals, but overall, I just wanted more attacking play. Which is not to say that that's bad football. Sometimes, like less scoring, more defensive play could also be good football. But to me, like I wanted more eye-catchy football,
Yeah.
more eye candy, I guess, in that sense.
I want to go take a shower while the game was happening because I know it was gonna say 0-0. I literally came out and checked the score. I'm like, bro, it's still
right, and like
0-0.
with the attacking signings, they both had like Gyökeres for Arsenal, and then I mean, I know they didn't have Isak yet, but
they had
even
Ekitike.
Wirtz, like he's an attacking player. Like you would have expected this to be.
I thought
a
Wirtz was
so-
low key very he was very off this past game. I didn't see him being anywhere near as creative, but Salah was also seemed off to me.
Yeah, low key, I personally thought Arsenal was gonna take it because Van Dijk has been making a couple mistakes in the previous game, so I was like, oh, he might make a mistake like that. And then Liverpool doesn't have Frimpong, so who were they using as right back? Was it
Soboslai? I
Yeah,
think it
I
might have
think
been.
so.
Hold on, let me double check.
Because I kept seeing him going back. I'm like, is he playing as the right back? And I'm like, it's center attacking mid playing as the right back. I'm like, hey, if it works, it works. But I was just
he
like,
was. Soboslai was playing as a right
that
back.
defense was not the defense that we usually use. So I thought Arsenal was going to take advantage of that. But I guess they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I just overall expected more from that game. But yeah, any more thoughts on the Liverpool Arsenal game? Because otherwise, I want to move on to talk about. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it was just lackluster. I thought it was going to be more. I was excited to see it. And then I
Yeah.
was like, damn, other Premier League games are probably better, if I'm being honest.
And I do think that if both of them continue to play the way that they're playing and fight on top of the league, I do think that their second meeting will probably be more eventful because at that point they have something to play for. I think the problem with starting these games so early on is that like you want to be more safe than you want to be aggressive, right? Because it's okay if you lose a game this early. Usually at the later rounds of the season, you don't want to be losing those games because those games are what end up causing you the league. But maybe that had something to do with it. But with that being said, I want to move on to another shocker that we had with Brighton beating Manchester City, which brings Manchester's second defeat in as many match days. 2-1. So I don't know. I guess this was completely out of what's going on with City. I guess let's just start there because are they just not finding their groove? Is it their players? Is Pep washed? Like
could be that Pep's washed.
Yeah.
I think I was watching the game and they actually had a lot of chances though. Man City, there was like two, I want to say, apart from the one who scored? Haaland, right?
Haaland.
Yeah, I was gonna say apart from the one he scored, he had like 2 other chances where it was like 1v1 against the goalie. He had one right before he scored, shot it right at the goalie.
Oh,
Like you don't expect that from Haaland. Like when
Yeah.
it's a 1v1, you're
You
expecting
expect him
Haaland to
to
score.
bury it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he could have had a hat trick that game, but he only scored one. So I feel like they're producing the chances. Like they're scoring. Like how many?
So they had 12. They both had the same shots attempted. Brighton actually had 7 shots on goal, or City's 3 shots on goal.
and with less
But
percentage.
yeah, but with possession, we had City obviously dominate possession with 63%. Which I feel like possession has been one of those tools that has been like very negatively used whenever a team loses.
Yeah.
And it always reminds me of this quote that Mourinho said, that he's like, "Oh, I had a friend. We went to the bar and he talked to this girl for 2 hours, but then I came and I took her home." Like that's how he represents possession, right? Like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how long you possess the ball unless you're scoring with it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like City have been lacking that in the last like half of, or in the last third of the field, really. Like I
And,
think
yeah, and that's why I'm not worried. Like as a Real Madrid fan, to face them in the Champions League, like at the way they're starting their season, like
They're not playing
I'm
well.
not-
It was 2 seasons ago. You haven't like
yeah, I would
damn,
have been like,
not again.
which
But,
puts us at an interesting situation, because next week, or not next week, but the week following that, when the Premier League gets back after the break, FIFA break, we're gonna have probably one of the worst Manchester derbies that we've had in years. So both of them
maybe they'll be even.
yeah.
Evenly bad.
evenly terrible, yeah. So City will be facing off against Man United, which will be really fun to watch. And then obviously, as of yesterday, Gigi Donnarumma was confirmed by Fabrizio Romano to be going to Manchester City in the deadline. So that should be exciting for them.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know, like for the first time in a while, Man United is actually above Man City on the table. Like we have thought about that at the beginning of the season.
No, and I still think that their coach is getting sacked. Like I think Man United basically just bought themselves a little bit more time.
I
But
think Man United's coach is getting sacked.
Oh yeah.
I'm a Marine.
Do you think so?
Dude, they just lost in what was
Oh
it,
yeah,
like,
against
against some
Grimsby?
fourth,
But yeah, dude, like you
team.
can't be doing that. Like I get that, like technically it's not as important of or prestigious of a cup, but you're Manchester United. And you're supposed to have a level of prestige, and it's been like a decade now where we haven't really seen them perform to like maybe not a decade. Last time that they were relevant, when Ronaldo was there, and ever since, like, and like I said, ultimately.
But you know what though? It's interesting because even Ronaldo said it. Like I feel like there's a problem bigger than just the managers,
Mhm.
because they've gone through so many managers and good managers.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Good.
yeah.
Mourinho?
No, what was the one before?
I don't know.
Ten Hag? Bro, when he
bro.
was okay,
Oh,
chill. But when he was with
Just got
with
sacked
Ajax,
after 3.
yeah, but when he was with Ajax, bro, he
Mhm.
did great with Ajax, and that's why they went after him.
but I
because-
think
Okay.
I think the difference is that when he was with Ajax, it's like, granted, Ajax is a great team in the Netherlands, but when you're playing in European football, and I'm not
Right, but that's
not
what I'm saying.
trying, because
When they went far in the Champions League is when they had him.
right. Yeah, but that's because there's no expectations placed on your shoulders. When you take over Manchester United, just like if you take over Barcelona, Real Madrid, any of these top teams, like your expectation isn't to be great, and it's not a fairy tale story. That's like the minimum that you're expected to do.
Right.
So I feel like that's ultimately what got to him. But
Yeah.
I agree. I think it goes beyond like management level when it goes more to ownership. I mean, from what I've heard about Manchester United, they don't have the facilities, they don't
Yeah.
have the technology. I heard some reports coming out as of last week that like apparently a lot of like their staff outside from like the players and coaching, if you were dining at their, like they weren't even giving food to their employees anymore. Like you weren't allowed to dine at the hall. Like they were charging.
Yeah, and like Ronaldo said, like when he like left back in who remembers when he
2009?
went to Real Madrid, and then he's like he came back to play with
It
them.
wasn't the same.
He said everything was the
Everything
same.
was the same.
Yeah.
which
He's
was the
like
problem.
everything was the same. The like nothing has changed. Like the training facilities are the same. The like everything, the locker rooms, like nothing changed. And he's like, I've been gone for like who knows how long.
Yeah,
but,
like 10, 15 years.
yeah,
something like
and
that.
nothing has changed. Like that's crazy. I'm not saying you got to update your, everything every year, but like damn.
But you got to do something.
Yeah.
And I think it's getting to the point.
And for such a big club, like with their
Yeah.
history, like you would expect them to.
It's getting to a point for Manchester United where like I don't know. Maybe you got to call in a shaman or something. Because what else could you do? I mean, you've hired phenomenal coaches. Obviously, you got to stop reaching on a lot of these players. Like,
I feel like they keep ruining players. Like they keep buying good players and then ruining them, and then like they're like, oh, it's the players don't perform. Then they send them out on loan and they perform.
well,
Yeah,
I
It's
think I
like
think the reason is also what the players surrounded with. I think the problem with Manchester United is they're bringing a lot of like individual talents. I think you're surrounded with a lot of like garbage, to say, like, maybe not garbage, but not
yeah, that's a little harsh.
maybe not particularly just garbage, but like not as great of a players, and so they don't perform. Whereas where you bring a lower level player to a great club, they're gonna shine a lot more because you have whatever you're surrounded with, you know. And ultimately, I think that's what Manchester United is.
Yeah, I just gotta say the only player where I'm like, you could be that harsh is Onana, because oh my
Oh,
god, how
Nana's
is he
good.
doing so
Yeah.
bad?
Which is interesting because Manchester United was actually making an attempt to get Dibu Martinez. It went sideways. I know they ended up getting some other goalkeeper. I think he's Belgium. I can't remember his name to be exact.
Oh yeah, the one that's played yesterday, was it? Yeah.
I think so.
He's not
No, no,
Belgian.
no, 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 no.
The
He
Turkey
wasn't.
one?
He wasn't the one that was playing yesterday. He was. I would have to get back to you at that because honestly, I can't remember on top of my head. And going through Fabrizio's Instagram page to find the signing will take me a while. But once I do, I'll let you know. But
But they won yesterday though, so that's. Oh, you found it
Yep.
already?
Man United ready to increase their bid for goalkeeper Sen Lamens. He is
Oh, he is
Belgium.
Belgian. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a really weird transfer deadline. I just saw, and ultimately what I saw is like, so they had an agreement with Debo, which I think would have been a great keeper for Manchester United. But then they panicked. They didn't know if they were going to be able to close them. So they got this other guy who, yes, is younger, but doesn't have as much experience. I think you need some experience and leadership in the club. And ultimately, I feel like this is basically what we saw all of transfer deadline yesterday, which was a lot of teams like, oh, my first choice is not complete by now. So what? I'm going to reach for my second choice. And I just don't think that the second choice was.
Just for security, you know, like
Yeah.
you'd rather have someone than no one.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I don't know. I feel like they could have done more. With that being said, was there anything else on the Premier League that you guys wanted to touch on?
I did want to talk about Everton. I don't know if you guys saw that Everton
Was it
game.
3-0, I think?
3-2.
3-2. Yeah.
3-2. But I'm not surprised that
Specifically.
Chelsea sold Drewsbury Hall
Mhm.
because they just have so many players that I mean he wasn't gonna get playing time. But him and Grealish at Everton.
Yeah, they're performing really well.
Yeah, I think Grealish assisted and Drewsbury Hall scored one.
Grealish has been on a good run. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he got one assist this game. He got 2 assists, I believe, the past game. I think he's having a revival, but which is ultimately what, like, I think, right? Like, what's the, like, you could have done this, and you could have done this at City, and you'll still be fine. But you chose to party and
I
do
don't
alcohol. You know?
think he could have done this at City, because the way how Pep, manages the team, he doesn't like wingers realistically. He
Mhm.
doesn't let them do their thing. He doesn't let
Mhm.
them run and stuff. And then you're bringing a true winger and you're telling him, don't play how you play your entire life.
It's like Doku.
Which-
Like look at
Yeah.
Doku
yeah.
now. Like he
I mean, even if you look, well,
And like
I don't know,
Doku with
'cause
that speed, that's like the best quality of a winger. He could be outrunning your
Yeah.
players and just crossing it in. But no, Pep just like run, but then pass back. Yeah.
pass to the middle.
Well,
Pass it back to the
I just
middle.
don't think they have like, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of shit for this, but I don't think they have the same qualities as some of their previous wingers. I remember when Pep first took over City, and he had Sterling and Sane playing as their wingers. Dude, he had me convinced that Sane was a top 50 player in the world, and now after Sane left Manchester City, you could see that he's a good player, but he's nowhere near that
But
potential.
here's the thing: at the beginning, Pep was playing with wingers, but over time he didn't like them, so he stopped playing with them. So that's why I was surprised. I'm like, you bought Grealish, but realistically,
Yeah.
Man City was the team in the Premier League that if you had a good season, you were getting bought by City. They were the Real Madrid of La
Yeah.
Liga, realistically.
Or the
They're buying all the
PSG
players.
of
Yeah.
yeah. If you were a French player and
Or
you were good
Bayern.
enough, or Bayern.
No, you had one good season, we'll bring you in, but you're gonna be sitting on the bench, by the way. But like,
Mhm. No, I get it. I mean,
I mean, I'm not like saying Everton's probably even gonna, do that, but it's interesting to see that those two players. I thought Drewsbury Hall was a good player. He just didn't get a lot of playing time with Chelsea, but
which I think is like what you were saying. The problem that most Chelsea players have that they don't get enough playing time.
I do have one question. How do you guys feel about Chelsea wanting to buy Fermin Lopez right before the close of the window?
I think it was absolutely disrespectful that their offer was $40 million. Like, are you kidding me, dude? You're paying like $80 million for nobody, and you want one of like the top center
Growing
attacking mid
aspect,
prospects to go for 40? Like, no, I wasn't taking.
I think they were
anything-
trying to take advantage of like the money situation with Barca. That they're like, I think if we offer them anything, they're gonna be like, yeah, we need money. But
Yeah.
you know, Barca was smart enough to not just be like, yeah, we need the money. We'll take it.
Yeah.
But
I feel like if it was maybe another player that might have been like, okay, but also like Fermin, he's starting to play really well. And I personally,
I'm glad that we kept him.
yeah. And also, I don't even think for me why I wanted to go because like you already have a bench full of good players. You want to bring more players. Like he's gonna have to compete against Cole Palmer. Who's the other center attacking mid? I think they just signed someone else new for that position too, and then they wanted Fermin too. I'm like,
Yeah, they keep bringing it up.
yeah, they signed another midfielder. You're right.
yeah, and I'm just like, why do you guys keep wanting to buy players?
And I think that maybe they thought too, like, oh, well, you know, he's not really playing at Barca, like, not starting, right? But at the same time, like you said, he's not going to start at Chelsea.
Yeah.
They did buy another midfielder.
Was it transfer deadline or was it before?
I think it was a little bit before.
Yeah, I think it was the week up, or like, I don't know. Oh, and before it was
Okay.
no,
before he was coming back, right?
But-
He was coming back.
yeah, because before it was also like in Cuckoo there, and I think the transfer happened like afterwards. But
Yeah,
like
and Coco ended up going to Milan.
they also signed Garnacho too.
Which,
from
by the way, what ended up happening with the Santi? I don't know if you saw, but apparently there was
The Roma?
Yeah, there was a
With
swap deal with Dolby.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
I don't think it did.
Oh man, I like Milan more than I like Roma, but I got to be honest with you, I was kind of hoping that it did because that would have meant not Champions League, but Europa League football for Santi. And I do think that Milan are. Oh wow, apparently Chelsea also wanted him. Crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that. Oh, here it is. Oh no, he's staying at Milan. Well, no, just the thing is that like as a Mexican, I want like my well, obviously like I think at this point Raul Jimenez has the job lined up, right? And then Santi's like the first back, but I want him to be getting the reps. I want him to be getting Champions
Recognition.
League or Europa League football. Like I don't want him playing at AC Milan when it looks like the boat is sinking. And I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope Allegri is able to turn it around. But realistically, like I don't know what to expect from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, without
I did have two other games I wanted to talk about real quickly.
Go
The one for sure was the PSG game. Did you see they won like 6-2,
6-3.
6-3?
But
But João Neves, bro.
Oh yeah.
he's been playing.
Oh my god.
Oh no, sorry. John Neves is playing good. He's been playing great.
Good. He scored the best hat trick a midfielder could have scored. Two bicycle kicks, 2 chilenas, and then a banger from outside the box. And he's 20 years old.
Yeah, that was
I personally
good.
still rate Vitinha above him, but it's just more because I think 6-3 against Toulouse.
6-3, yeah.
Yeah, I personally rate Vitinha above him, but that's just because I think Vitinha controls the midfield a lot more. But I do think that Neves has been stepping up a lot more this season.
Yeah.
And we kind of started seeing his rise as of last season. So it's interesting.
No, I think he's definitely going to be a player to watch this season that's going to just, you know, like, I don't know, just have a really good season. I mean, to score a hat trick, again, as a center mid.
Do it in the Champions League and then I'll be like...
Yeah, I can see it too, like against...
Not to talk smack or whatever, but Toulouse, like, let's be real. And granted, they were undefeated until they faced PSG, but that means absolutely nothing to me when you're talking about the French league that's one or two teams ahead of everybody else, and realistically PSG ahead of those two teams. But yeah, I do think he's going to be a player to watch. I know that you think he's phenomenal, and I agree with you.
Well, just like
you've been saying
your logic right there, where you're like, oh, well, if he does it in the Champions League, but I bet you if Lamine Yamal scored a hat trick against, I don't even know who at the bottom of the table, you'd be like, oh yeah, Lamine Yamal, give him the crown, he's a king.
Yes,
right?
No, I get it.
So, but and another one was Bayern. But no, go ahead. I don't know if you guys want to say anything about that PSG game.
Nah, they're playing good. We know they're gonna be like winning the league and stuff like that. But at the same time, like these are also professional teams, so like they do provide some kind of like challenge against them. But yeah, no, Neves played good. that game. I hope to see him play better in other games and stuff like that, or continue that same
Yeah.
level of essentially skills. I do want to see how it looks in the Champions League. We're playing like teams where they're not gonna make it easy for you to do a bicycle kick.
Right.
They're gonna be right in front of the ball. They're gonna be doing everything to make it uncomfortable for you to do that. And then if you're doing that, then like even like Ronaldo, he struggled to score a bicycle kick for the longest. And then he was able to do it against Juventus, but like, yeah, when you're performing with top teams, they're not gonna give you that opening for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Fabio put it like in such a great form. Like when you do perform against better teams, it's harder for you to get those goals, and that's why they count more. Not to say that like a bicycle kick, like bro, we wish we could score a bicycle kick in our Sunday league, right? Like I wish I could play Sunday league, period. But with that being said, sometimes I tune in to watch the PSG games, not because I want to see something competitive, but it's kind of like when you watch a movie that you know it's bad, but you want to watch it because it's fun. But there's good and there's fun movies, and
Yeah.
that's what I feel about PSG. I don't really care about the competitive level of like
You just know they're gonna score goals, and it's gonna be
so I just know it's gonna
interesting.
be a showy football.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I'm gonna tune in to watch this match because I know it's gonna be exciting. I know there's probably gonna be enough goals. There's gonna be it's gonna be interesting,
Yeah.
but not so much because of the level. But yeah, with that, did you have? Because otherwise, I just wanted to close very quickly with what happened in La Liga, which I mean we kind of talked a little bit about Madrid, but just to touch that, you guys ended up winning 2-1 against Mallorca, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, they're on top of the table now.
Puts us at 9 points with
Athletic Club. Yeah, Athletic Club also got what was it, like a 3-0,
3-1, 2-1 against Betis.
2-1 against Sevilla.
2-1 against Betis.
Betis,
Yeah.
okay. Who was Sevilla? That was
but that was Saturday, not Sunday. I think Sevilla played 2-0 against Girona. Atletico Madrid struggling against Alaves, 1-1.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel
No
like
win so far for Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid and Man City are like they're performing to see like who could do worse. Because I'm like, how do you?
Well, and I think it goes back to like I don't know. I've been saying this for a while, but I said at the beginning of the season they're not giving me a good vibe. I don't think that Atletico has done what's necessary this offseason to perform to level, and getting knocked out of the Club World Cup so early should have told them like, hey, something's wrong. And then getting rid of Rodri de Paul and getting rid of what's his name? He went to Tigres.
Oh my Correa.
Correa, Correa, who's been having
going
phenomenal time. Yeah, who's going crazy for Tigres, but and they didn't really replace him, right? And so now
Didn't
it's
they
like
get the guy from Villarreal, Vaina?
I think so. Also,
They
didn't
just
they
got, like,
spend
two-
like the most money on La Liga this season?
And he had the most chances created last year. I think in all of Europe.
Oh wow!
So you
that
bought
was Petri.
no check. It's definitely not Petri, bro.
Let's see.
I think Pedri has some of the best key passes. But yeah, no, I get where you're coming from. Like you're buying all these
I'm putting the
players,
league
you're
at the beginning
assuming
with 2020.
you're assuming they're gonna be performing, and they're not performing at all.
Oh, you're right, Alex
Alex
Vaina.
Vaina with 93 chances created.
Oh,
He's trying
wow.
to see where Pedri is at.
No, I was seeing most chances good. I was seeing if this was
I don't know if he's injured.
That was for
because
yeah.
he wasn't in the. Or was he in the subs? He wasn't in the subs.
But then, like, I don't know. I feel like Atletico Bilbao like strategy is so boring that it's gotten to the point where everyone is just
You mean
able to
Atletico Madrid?
Atletico Madrid, yeah. It's just so easy to counter now. Like he hasn't changed anything in the past 5 years. It's still the same thing.
Which just kind of brings me to a quick question. It's like if Atletico to continue to perform like this, let's say they miss out on a Champions League spot, is it over for Cholo Simeone? And do you think it should be?
I think so. I think he's just been there for a while, and
doesn't
don't
change
get me,
things.
Yeah,
Besides buying players,
he's done great, but like
Has
he's
he though?
only like
he's got one
previously-
league. He's got one league.
Yeah, but he's been contending. There's also been like other leagues where he's been like 1 or 2 points.
yeah.
But that's my question. Is like is are Atletico Madrid fans okay with just contending, or do they want to become a more serious club, take that step, and be like, we need to be more than contending. We need to be winning stuff. We need to be winning a Liga at least one every 3 years, not one every 6 or 7. We need to be competing in the semi-finals for the Champions League at least, or like be competing in the finals like they did a couple years back. Granted, it was with Cholo, but I don't know. I feel like his coaching style is outdated, and I think same for City and Pep. You know, if City continue amongst the same line, I think that unfortunately Pep's time should come to an end. But
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think like maybe some change is gonna um give them a different like view of like how to
yeah,
perform and stuff like that.
especially because
Uh,
you still got like one, maybe two more good years of Griezmann, who I still think. Well, I think him and.
I already think Griezmann's already facing out, if I'm being
Yeah,
honest.
no, for sure. But I'm just saying, like, you still get another good year. Who's a club legend? I feel like it'd be nice to win something more for him. But even then, you want your newer generations to see that you're willing to compete, right? Like you want to show them that you're able to do something. But and then just to close off, we had Barcelona dropping points at Rayo Vallecano 1-1. I think there.
Controversial penalty.
I don't think there was any controversy.
There was
Same.
definitely. The ref even came out after the game and said it wasn't a
think-
penalty
so,
after he saw the replay.
I think the controversy really lies in the fact that, like, it's unbelievable that Rayo Vallecano refused to upgrade their stadium, refused to upgrade their facilities, refused to, and we saw a moment of
That
silence.
pitch.
Yeah, we saw a moment of silence from the fans because they're angry at management for this. But it's like, how are you not going to have VAR? And I know a lot of people are blasting Barcelona for it, but that's not Barcelona's job. This wasn't played at the Camp Nou or at Madrid. This
Well, yeah,
was
because they can't play at Camp Nou, no?
right, but this was played.
Oh, not yet.
But
Calm down, calm down.
regardless, like the point is, like this was
Maybe
played.
it is their Barcelona's fault, because if their stadium would have been built, they could have
Right,
played there.
somehow
Hey, they were
everything-
playing an away game. It's
All
not
I'm
like
All I'm saying is that, like, if you're playing away, right? It should be their responsibility to make sure everything has lines. So I don't know why that's fine on Barcelona. The penalty, I think I've seen it enough times. There's contact on the knee. I've said it
There's
before.
not contact on the knee, though.
there
There
is.
is.
Isn't, though, bro.
There
Pull up the
is.
picture I sent you. There's no contact on his knee.
Look, I don't
Picture,
care
look
about
at
the
the
picture. Look
video.
at the video.
There is no contact on his knee, bro. It hits his upper thigh. And he sticks out his leg and barely, like,
The
he's
other
losing
thing
control of
is-
the ball. The other player from...
Regardless, if
So-
you're a defender and you're coming like that and you don't touch the ball at all, that's also like dangerous. That's also
Bro.
always gonna be called a pen.
First of all, worldly class.
Oh my God.
Look at how the player, he doesn't touch the ball. He just jump. Wait, hold on. Cuts him out. This guy just jumps in front of him. Doesn't get the ball. Look.
And gets knee.
Doesn't
gets
get
knee.
knee. He
He
doesn't
gets
get
knee.
knee. Anyway, he doesn't get knee, but whatever.
Regardless, whatever you guys think, go ahead, go watch.
I
the
mean,
video for yourself.
regardless, pen or not, like,
I do,
Barcelona got dominated
Yeah.
that game.
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Barcelona, and ultimately, the only thing that I was going to say from that game, I could have taken a lot of negatives from it, and I did, and I will internalize those because I'm a Barca fan. I'm not going to talk shit about my club, but I think the positive that I'm going to take away with this is we have a goalkeeper in John Garcia. He played phenomenal. I'm really happy to see him, and we'll see what happens. I think this was a wake up call, and with the international break coming up this week, I'm looking forward to see whether the players take that time and really reset and be ready for what's to come. But
I do have a question. Are you guys surprised that he didn't get called out to be a goalie, even as just a reserve goalie? In my expectation, I'm like, you had the best season the previous season. You're performing well. At least take him as a reserve. I do understand
So-
you have Union Simon as your main goalkeeper. I understand, like, hey, he's been there, he knows the system, and like he should start and stuff like that. But like, you're having world players are performing, and then you don't bring them, like Garcia.
I think the only thing that I'm going to say is something that I've been saying before with Spain. I don't understand how sorry. Right.
The players that call up and the reasons why.
Right. So some of the players are called up. If you this, I know how crazy I'm going to sound right now. If you go look at the Spanish Federation, look at who the heads of the Spanish Federation are, and that'll tell you why certain players are there. Balde was having a phenomenal season.
Mhm.
He way over Cucurella. For some reason, wasn't called up to be a left back. Kubarsi was playing way better football than Dean Huijsen, and you could tell me whatever you want about the English Premier League, but Kubarsi was playing way better football. Wasn't a starter.
The other one, Grimaldo.
Grimaldo. I mean, and you could continue. Fermin was playing phenomenal. Olmo was playing phenomenal. Pedri was playing phenomenal. You had Casado playing phenomenal. And then some of those holes were filled by other players. All I'm saying is go look at the way that the Spanish Football Federation is structured. Look at the heads. Look at the teams they support or the team they support. And that kind of explains why a lot of teams or a lot of the players don't get called up. Otherwise, I really don't understand it either. Because I don't think Unai Simone is a bad goalkeeper. But you're right. Joan Garcia has been the best goalkeeper probably in Spain, like Spanish goalkeeper for the past few years. That is why Barcelona. But
I do think he also he was the best goalkeeper last season. He performed better than Courtois, and I'm not saying Courtois didn't perform well. He performed amazing for Real. It's just Joan Garcia also performed well at a lower team. And even with a lower team, he was still performing, giving out those high level works. And for the first time, because we all as Barcelona fan, we've seen like the past couple seasons, we struggle with our goalkeepers. Like there've been some easy balls going in, and for the first time, I was like watching that game. I'm like, oh, they're about to score. Oh shit,
yeah,
they didn't score. I'm like, they're about to score again. How is he blocking these? Even some of the offside goals,
yeah,
he was still saving them.
Yeah.
And I
dude.
was like,
Same.
Goes
wow.
to show he's still performing in a small club.
Screw you.
All right.
But yeah, with that, did you want to talk about any other games really quickly, or anything that you
Nah.
wanted to touch up on? Because aside from that, I do think we're running a little long in this video, so sorry about that, guys. But thank you for sticking with us. But yeah, I think it's good to close it out there. Like I said, we have international break coming up. Not much basically going on, not super interesting. But thank you for staying with us. Please follow, subscribe, like, comment. Please comment. And we'll love to hear from you guys. Otherwise, this was 90 plus, and see you next time.